The sky above the desert was clear, filled with stars that looked cold and silent. But something strange was happening. Something was whispering through the darkness of space. Miles away from any city, deep in the Australian outback, a lonely radio telescope stood tall, pointing up toward the sky. Inside the control room, Dr. Leon Carter sat alone, sipping cold coffee. It was past midnight, and the desert was quiet, almost too quiet. Dr. Carter wasn't expecting anything special that night. Most nights were the same hours of static, weak signals and small data blips. But tonight something changed. A soft beep lit up the screen, then another, then a burst of strange symbols. He leaned forward. "What the hell is this?" he whispered. The signal wasn't noise, it had a pattern. It was repeating over and over again, the same rhythm, the same code. He pressed the record button and saved the data. The computer translated the signal into visuals, a long stream of dots and lines, like Morse code, but not human. Not even close. Leon stood, heart beating faster. He adjusted the frequency. The signal got stronger. Then it stopped. Only silence. He stared at the monitor. He didn't believe in aliens, not really. He was a scientist. But this wasn't natural. This was a message. He ran diagnostics to check for errors. Nothing. After a few minutes, the signal returned. This time, a soft voice came through. It didn't sound human. It was cold, metallic, and broken. But a message played in English, translated through automatic decoding software. "We are dying. Help us. Allies respond. Code 9VEX. Please, we are dying." Leon froze. He replayed the message. "We are dying. Help us. Allies respond." The message repeated 6 times and cut off again. He called his supervisor. No answer. Then he contacted the emergency line for the Global Deep Space Network. He uploaded the signal. Within 20 minutes, he had 3 calls on hold: NASA, ESA, and China's CNSA. All of them had received the same message. All of them wanted answers. 3 days later, Global Security Council briefing in an underground base near Geneva. World leaders, scientists, and military officers gathered for a secret emergency meeting. A large screen showed the alien signal, repeating again and again. It wasn't a hoax, it was real, verified by independent observatories around the world. The signal came from Sector A99, a dead part of space far beyond the edge of the known galaxy. Admiral Voss, head of the UN Defense Task Force, stood in front of the group. "This is not a drill," he said calmly. "The signal is repeating. Every 2 hours. It is a distress call sent to someone, but not to us. The words 'Allies respond' are key. This message was not meant for Earth." A young linguist named Dr. Asha Verma stepped forward. She explained how the AI had broken the alien language. The message had layers, hidden codes, and a strange request labeled 9VEX. No one knew what that meant. A quiet silence filled the room. Then, the president of France asked the question everyone feared. Should we respond? The decision, 2 sides formed quickly. Some believed responding could save lives. Others feared it might bring danger to Earth. What if it was a trap? What if it wasn't aliens asking for help but luring someone in? Still, curiosity won. Humanity had always looked to the stars and wondered. Maybe this was a chance to finally know the truth. A secret team was formed: scientists, linguists, intelligence agents. They built a reply message using the same code. The reply was simple: "Message received. We are listening. How can we help?" The message was launched through deep space transmission. Arrays in 5 countries. Then they waited. Hours passed. Nothing. Then, on the 3rd day, a new message arrived. The reply: the message was broken, full of static, but still understandable. "You are not them, but still you hear. The 9VEX protocol is active. We are weak, we are hunted, coordinates sent. Come if you can. Bring no weapons, beware the betrayers. They wear your shape. The room fell silent. The message came with coordinates to a distant star system, not in any Earth database. It would take years with normal travel. Humanity had been experimenting with experimental warp drives. Admiral Voss stepped forward. "We send a team," he said. "One ship, no weapons. Recon only. If it's a trap, we lose a ship. If it's real, we make first contact." The mission was codenamed Operation Vexpoint. The crew was handpicked. Commander Elena Reyes, ex-NASA pilot, calm and sharp. Dr. Felix Grant, xenobiologist. Expert in alien life theory. LT, Marcus Jin, tech and systems specialist. Dr. Asha Verma, the signal decoder and language expert. Captain Rob Decker, military observer, strictly to monitor and report. The ship, Daedalus 1, was fitted with humanity's best tech: experimental warp, stealth shielding, and advanced life systems. No weapons. Only observation gear. The launch was secret. Only the top levels of Global Command knew. Launch night, the ship was ready. Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. "This is it," she said softly. "If they're out there, we'll find them." Dr. Grant looked nervous. "I never thought I'd live to see this." Captain Decker checked his logs. "One-way trip unless that warp works on the return." They laughed nervously. Dr. Asha Verma, quiet all this time, spoke up. "There's something strange about the last message," she said. "The part that says, 'They wear your shape,' it means the enemies of these aliens might look like us." Everyone turned to her. "You mean humans?" She nodded. "No, but maybe something like us." A shadow in the stars as Daedalus 1 left Earth's orbit. The crew sat in silence. The stars stretched as the warp drive engaged. The ship vanished from human space. On Earth, officials watched the dot on the screen disappear. "God help them," Admiral Voss said. Then he turned to his aide. "Get Project Sentinel ready. If anything comes back through that gate, we need to be ready." One last scene, unknown location, far across the galaxy, in a ruined city of ash and fire. A creature sat among the bones of its kind. Its eyes glowed blue. It held a small device that blinked red, the sign of a received signal. The message from Earth had reached it. The creature smiled, not with joy, but with something darker. "They heard it," it whispered. "And now they come." It pressed a button. The message was forwarded again, this time not as a distress call, but as a beacon. The stars were silent again. The Daedalus 1 had vanished into deep space 2 weeks ago, and Earth had not heard a single word since. The world was waiting, hoping, and fearing. In a secure underground room at the United Nations Space Command, Admiral Voss sat in front of a large screen. Around him were military generals, scientists, and political leaders from across the globe. The atmosphere was tense. Then suddenly, beep, beep. A new signal came through. A data stream flooded in, far clearer than the last one. This time, it wasn't just a voice. It was an entire data packet: maps, language files, and something strange. A voice began to speak. Not human, not machine, something in between. "We see you." You answered. "You are not of the Alliance." "But you came. We send coordinates. Come with care. The betrayers still hunt. Do not trust what looks like you." A long pause. Code 9 Vex continues. Protocol not closed. Help is accepted. Danger level critical. Everyone in the room looked at each other. Dr. Asha Verma, the young linguist who had first decoded the alien message, leaned closer to the screen. "The message is clearer," she said. "They know we're not who they were calling. But they want us to come anyway. The question wasn't can we anymore. Now it was, should we?" Daedalus 1, Deep Space, Mission Day 15. Commander Elena Reyes sat quietly in the command chair, staring at the holographic star map. "We're getting close." She said. The alien coordinates had brought them to the edge of a dying solar system. The star here was old, flickering, unstable. Several planets floated around it, but only one matched the signal's origin. Planet V-Rex-9. Gray. Cold. Lifeless, at least from orbit. Dr. Grant looked at the scans. No signs of cities, but there's one energy signature faint. Underground. Could be a trap, Captain Decker said, hand resting on his sidearm. We still have no idea who these aliens are. T-Jin spoke up. The signal's repeating. Same phrase, come alone. Bring no war. Over and over. They had a choice to make. Go down and meet whatever waited for them, or turn back and leave a mystery unsolved. Commander Reyes stood. We came to answer. Let's finish the job. Planet Virex-9, surface landing. The shuttle touched down in a wide valley surrounded by jagged black rocks. The sky above was filled with dark clouds, flashing with silent lightning. As the crew stepped out, they saw no signs of life. The air was thin, but breathable. Strange symbols were carved into the rocks, faded, ancient. Dr. Verma scanned one with her device. This isn't just language, she said. These are warnings. They walked for an hour toward the energy signature. And then they found it. A small metal door, half buried in stone. It opened by itself. No sound. No light. Just darkness inside. Captain Decker raised his flashlight. Stay close, eyes open. They stepped in. The first contact inside. The air was warmer, humid. The corridor was lined with strange wires and glowing tubes. They walked for 10 minutes deeper underground until they entered a chamber. There, sitting in the center, was a creature, small, pale, eyes large and black, thin limbs. It was breathing slowly, hooked to a glowing machine. It looked weak, but not afraid. The alien looked at them, then spoke in broken English translated by their device. Not what we expected, but not enemy. You came. That means hope. Dr. Grant stepped forward. We're from Earth. We got your message. The alien coughed, or maybe laughed. It was hard to tell. Earth, yes. Home of silence. Lost. Now, found. The crew exchanged confused looks. Dr. Verma asked, What happened to your people? The alien closed its eyes for a moment, then pointed to a wall. Images lit up, moving pictures, like holographic memories. They saw a once beautiful city. Shining towers, flying ships, laughter. Then came darkness. Ships falling from the sky, explosions, screams, and then shadows, tall, humanoid shapes moving through fire. They looked almost like humans. The alien whispered one word. Betrayers. Secrets in the dark. Back on Earth, analysts studied the data packets sent by the aliens. Inside the files, they found something disturbing. One image was a DNA strand. It was human. Dr. Yamada, a top geneticist, called Admiral Voss immediately. This isn't just similar, he said. It's a 99.4% match to human DNA. Voss stared at the screen. How is that possible? We don't know. The conclusion was horrifying. The species that destroyed the aliens was connected to humanity. Virex-9, hidden truth in the alien base. The crew watched more holographic memories. The betrayers had once been allies, trusted, peaceful, helpful. Then something changed. They evolved or were taken over. They wear your shape, the alien said. But they have no soul. No mercy. They turned on us, killed millions, burned worlds. Commander Reyes asked, Why send a message now? After all this time? The alien looked at her, eyes full of pain. Because we are not all dead. Few survive, hiding, waiting. And because we saw your signal, your Earthlight. It was not an answer, it was a chance. Jin's scanner beeped. Commander, movement, outside the base. The crew froze. Ambush back on the surface. Strange shapes began to move between the rocks. Shadows. Silent. Watching. Contact. Captain Decker shouted. "We're not alone." Two black shapes rushed toward the entrance. The crew sealed the door just in time. Thuds echoed from outside Inhuman. Sharp mechanical dot. The alien creature whispered again. "They found us. You led them here, but it is not your fault. They listen, always." Reyes turned to Dr. Verma. "Can we move this thing?" "We can't leave it here." The alien nodded weakly. "I can guide. There is another place." They placed the alien on a stretcher and began moving deeper into the tunnels. The lights behind them started to go dark. One by one, the crew rushed through the tunnels, chased by something unseen. The ground shook, lights flickered. Machines screamed as they shut down. Then, suddenly, an exit. They burst into daylight. The ship was nearby, but three humanoid creatures blocked the way. Tall, gray skin, hollow black eyes. They looked human, but something was wrong. Their mouths were too wide. Their movements too perfect. They didn't speak. They just advanced. Captain Decker fired a pulse flare to blind them. "Go!" The crew ran. Reyes and Jin carried the alien. Inside the shuttle, they launched just as the creatures reached the landing pad. The ship shot into the sky. Safe. For now. Back in orbit, the alien lay on the med table, eyes barely open. "You have seen them," it whispered. "Now you must choose." Dr. Grant asked, "Choose what?" The alien pointed to the stars on the map. "They are not done. You are next. But you are different. You can fight." The crew exchanged silent looks. Something bigger was coming. And Earth had no idea. Final scene. Earth in a secret meeting room. Admiral Voss received the final message from Daedalus-1. It included everything. Images of the betrayers, the dead planet, and the alien survivor. He stood, slowly, and said just one thing. "We are not alone. And we're not safe." The shuttle from Daedalus-1 floated silently above the dead world, Virex-9. Inside, the crew was quiet. No one spoke. They were still thinking about what they had just seen, the betrayers, the alien city ruins, and the strange message about danger reaching Earth. Commander Elena Reyes sat in the pilot seat, hands still tight on the controls. Behind her, Dr. Felix Grant checked the alien survivor's condition. The alien was alive, but just barely. Its thin chest rose and fell slowly. Machines beeped quietly around it. Dr. Asha Verma, the linguist, stared at the glowing star map projected on the screen. One star blinked red. It was marked by the alien as the last beacon. "That's our next destination," Asha said. "Another planet?" Jin asked. "Yes," she replied. "But it's different. It's not a home. It's a memory." Commander Reyes frowned. "Set course. Let's see what this planet wants to show us." Back on Earth, the pressure builds at the United Nations Space Command Center. Admiral Voss stared at the new data from the Daedalus crew. There was a rising panic among world leaders. The images of the betrayers' humanoids who looked almost human were shown in secure briefings. Some refused to believe them. Others were already preparing for war. A private message came to Admiral Voss from the Director of Global Defense. "If what Daedalus found is true, Earth is not alone. And our enemies may already walk among us." That sentence stayed in Voss's mind like a sharp echo. He ordered Project Sentinel to activate. Satellites were launched. Border sensors were increased. And surveillance was quietly updated across major cities. Humanity had made first contact and now feared what might come. Next, the journey to the silent planet. The warp drive hummed as Daedalus-1 entered deep space again. This time, they followed a path marked by the alien survivor toward a dead planet called Arshavel, once the cultural center of its people. Now it was nothing more than dust and silence. As they approached the planet, the crew could see it had no oceans, no forests, just endless gray and white, desert under a dying red sun. But something was strange. One tower still stood in the middle of a cracked valley. It glowed faintly, as if it was still alive. "That's the beacon," Asha said. "It's still sending out memories." Commander Reyes nodded. "We land in 20 minutes. Be ready." Planet Arshavel, ground exploration, shuttle touched. Down on a flat, cracked field. The sky was red and full of strange, slow-moving clouds. The team stepped out, wearing breath assist masks. The air smelled like burnt metal. The alien survivor stayed behind. Resting in the med bay. Dr. Grant whispered, "It's hard to imagine a city once stood here." "Not just a city," Asha said. "A library of thoughts, the core of their knowledge." They walked toward the glowing tower. It pulsed every few seconds, like a heartbeat. Inside the tower, there was no furniture. No machines. Just walls covered in light. As they stepped closer, the lights began to move, forming holographic memories, images of the past, and the crew began to see what really happened. The memory archive, the first vision, showed the Artians, the alien species, peacefully living, building great towers, creating art and science. They had once been part of a large alliance of species spread across the stars. Then came a new race. They were welcomed. They looked like the Arshans, but taller, stronger. Their language was simple. Their technology advanced. They called themselves the Vakar. "We came from the Dark Edge," one of the Vakar had said. "We bring knowledge. We seek peace." And for years, there was peace. Until the day of tearing. One night, without warning, the Vakar turned. Their eyes turned black. Their voices changed. And they attacked. Cities fell in hours. Towers collapsed. The sky was filled with fire. Millions died. The Artians fought back, but the Vakar had evolved. Their bodies changed. Their minds were faster. And they had copied Artian DNA. They were no longer friends. They had become something else. The warning DR. Verma translated the symbols from the last memory. "They are not alien to you. They are part of you. Or, you are part of them. We don't know how, but they match your code. Maybe your world is where it started." The crew stood in silence. Could Earth somehow be connected to the Vakar? Was humanity their origin? Commander Reyes turned to Jin. "Get this entire archive copied. We take everything." The tower shook suddenly. The tower pulsed violently. Lights flickered. Alarms screamed. LT. Jin shouted, "Energy spike! We've been found!" The tower began to collapse. From the horizon, black shapes moved fast. Vakar ships. Commander Reyes screamed, "Back to the shuttle, now!" The crew ran, sand flying around them as the sky turned dark. Blasts hit the ground nearby. Captain Decker fired a flare to confuse the scanners. "Go, I'll cover." They made it back to the shuttle, lungs burning. Decker jumped in last. The ship launched just as the tower exploded behind them, chased through the stars as the shuttle returned to orbit. Vakar ships followed. Their design was sharp like knives in space. Black and silent. "Warp offline for 2 minutes." Jin shouted, "We don't have 2 minutes." Reyes yelled. Blasts rocked the shuttle. Shields dropped to 45%. Then a strange signal lit up the screen. A new voice. "You are not alone." A burst of blue light flashed near them, and a massive, unknown ship appeared. Sleek, ancient, beautiful. It fired at the Vakar pursuers, bright energy waves tearing through them. The attackers scattered. The strange ship sent one last message. "We have watched long enough. It is time." And then it vanished. What now? Back in the main ship, the alien survivor had woken. It looked up at the crew, breathing hard. "They found you," it said. "But others found you too. The Watchers. The last of the old ones. They will decide now if your world is worth saving." Commander Reyes sat down, face pale. "Are we at war?" The alien didn't answer. It just looked toward the stars. Final scene. Earth, secret lab in a dark underground facility on Earth. Scientists examined something terrifying. A body humanoid recovered from a remote mountain range. Its DNA matched 99.9% with human code, but it wasn't human. Its blood was black. And on its chest, burned into its skin, was a symbol. 9Vex. A man in a white coat whispered to himself. They're already here. Location: Earth, United Nations Space Command, UNSC, Headquarters. Geneva. Admiral Nathan Vuss stood alone in the dark briefing room. On the screen before him, a strange figure glowed faintly humanoid, motionless, and stored inside a cryo chamber. Body was lean, human-like, but it was not human. Its skin was too pale. Its eyes completely black. There were no fingerprints. No emotion, no warmth. A voice crackled through the speaker behind him. The DNA is almost a perfect match, but this thing... It's not us. Voss didn't answer immediately. He was staring at the symbol branded on its chest. 9Vex. It was the same term used by the alien survivor on board Daedalus 1. A warning. And now, one of them was here. On Earth. Location: Daedalus 1. Orbiting Archevel. Crew of Daedalus 1 sat around the central command table. The alien survivor, though weak, had one final truth to share. A holographic star map appeared. It showed dozens of star systems. Some were crossed out in red. "Those are the fallen worlds," said Dr. Usha Verma. Translating, the alien whispered, "The Vakar spread like shadow, fast, smart, silent. They do not always come in ships. Sometimes they arrive as whispers." "Commander." Elena Reyes leaned forward. "What do you mean?" "They do not invade by force," the alien continued. "They study first, copy, enter, pretend, then destroy from within." A chill spread across the room. They weren't just hunters. They were infiltrators. Location: Earth Secret Facility. Alaska. Dr. Miles Trevin, a top xenobiologist, watched the frozen figure inside the glass container. He turned to the security. "Chief, this being has the ability to mimic human behavior. Speech, even emotion. But there's one thing they can't copy." The chief raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" Dr. Trevin smiled grimly. "Choice. They don't feel it. They follow. Only function, observe, adapt, consume." The lights in the lab flickered. Somewhere deep in the facility, a door hissed open without anyone touching it. The power grid failed. The frozen chamber was empty. The creature was gone. Location: Daedalus 1. Deep briefing. "We need to tell Earth." Subtlety: Jin Park, tapping his console. "The Vakar aren't coming. They're already there." Commander Reyes nodded. "Send the warning, encrypted, eyes only." Within seconds, the message was transmitted. A direct pulse to Earth's military satellites. But they were already too late. Location: Earth, Washington, D.C. Government safe house. A man walked down a hallway. He looked like any other man in a black suit, clean shoes, calm voice, emotionless eyes. He walked into the war room where 4 generals were reviewing the new Daedalus 1 report. He stood behind them silently, then he spoke. "We must not panic. Let's study them first. Understand them. No need to respond too quickly." General Ross turned around. "Who are you?" The man smiled. "Just an observer." Then his eyes turned black. Location: Daedalus 1. Alien's final message. The alien was dying. Its skin was turning gray. Its breathing slowed. Dr. Grant held its hand. "You saved us," he said quietly. The alien looked up one last time. "Not saved, warned. You must finish the signal. You must awaken the gate." "What gate?" Asha asked. "A place, a power, hidden on a lost world. We locked it. They want it. You must reach it first." "Where is it?" Commander Reyes asked. The alien pressed a glowing stone into her palm. "The name is Theon." And then it died. Lights dimmed. The ship fell silent. Location, Earth Emergency Meeting. Admiral Voss paced in the war room, listening to the Daedalus 1 transmission. They can copy us. Live among us. We must act before they rise. But one. General slammed the table. And what if this is false? A trick. We destroy public trust if we go public. Another officer spoke. Sir, there was a breach at the Alaska lab. The subject escaped. Voss's hands tightened. Then it's already begun. Location, Los Angeles. Civilian life in a busy cafe. A woman sipped coffee alone. She smiled politely at others. Answered questions. Laughed at a joke. No one noticed her strange blink rate, or how she never swallowed, or how she didn't breathe for 27 minutes. Daedalus-1. Preparing for Theon's crew was tired, mentally exhausted. But they had a new goal now. Theon. Asha said again, pulling up the alien star chart. It was erased from most galactic maps, but this here. This hidden signal in the map layers, it leads there. Why was it hidden? Jin asked. Because it's a gate, she said. Something powerful is buried there. The Vakar want it. Commander Reyes made her decision. We go to Theon. We find the gate. We end this before they begin something worse. Location, Earth. Inside the mind of a betrayer, inside the body of the infiltrator. Thoughts were not like human thoughts. They were commands. Observe. Adapt. Signal the swarm. Disable leadership. Initiate Shadowfall. And now, after years of silent watching, it was time to begin that final scene. Theon revealed as Daedalus 1 dropped out of warp. The crew gasped. Before them was a planet with golden rings, glowing cities, floating above its surface, but no life signs. It was abandoned. A perfect circle of monoliths surrounded one location at the center of a great desert. Jin looked at the scans. That must be the gate. Reyes narrowed her eyes. Then we land, Asha whispered. They're coming for it too. The crew stepped out, feeling the power in the air. And far above, several Vakar ships dropped out of warp 2. The race for the gate had begun. The vastness of space stretched before the crew of the Daedalus 1 as they approached the mysterious planet Theon. The planet was unlike any other they had ever seen. Its surface glowed with golden rings and floating cities, but it was eerily quiet. No signs of life stirred. The air was thick with mystery and danger. Commander Elena Reyes sat in the command chair, eyes fixed on the planet below. Around her, the crew prepared for their descent. The air inside the ship was tense. We are close to the gate, said Jin Park, his fingers flying over the console. Sensors show a strong energy field surrounding the monoliths in the desert center. Dr. Asha Verma studied the alien star charts again. The gate is said to be a portal, a way to travel across vast distances instantly. If the Vakar get it first, they could control entire galaxies. The crew exchanged worried looks. Landing on Theon's shuttle descended carefully through the dusty atmosphere. The sky was a dull gold, and the sun barely pierced through the thick clouds. Below them stretched the desert, cracked and dry. In the center, the monoliths rose like silent sentinels. When the shuttle touched down, a cloud of dust rose. The heat from the planet was intense, but the crew had their suits and supplies. Commander Reyes took a deep breath. This is it. Let's move. The monoliths and the gate. The crew walked slowly toward the monoliths. They were massive stone towers, perfectly smooth and glowing with faint blue light. Symbols carved into their surface pulsed softly. Dr. Asha touched one carefully. These are not just stones, she said. They're machines, part of a much larger system. Suddenly, the ground trembled. The symbols on the monoliths brightened, shining with energy. A deep humming filled the air. A race against time back in orbit. The Daedalus 1 detected multiple ships dropping out of warp nearby. It's the Vakar, Jin said sharply. There. Here, Commander Reyes nodded. We're not the only ones racing for the gate. Inside the shuttle, the crew felt the weight of the moment. If the Vakar gained control, they could use the gate to spread their dark influence faster than ever. They had to act fast. The gate activates DR. Grant studied the control panel at the base of the monoliths. There's a sequence here, a code to unlock the gate. Asha focused on the symbols. I think I can translate it, but we don't have much time. Jin looked toward the horizon, where dark Vakar ships hovered. Every second counts. With trembling hands, Asha worked to input the code. Suddenly, a blinding light burst from the gate. The desert shook violently. A giant portal opened, swirling with energy. Vakar attacked just as the gate opened. The Vakar troops landed. Black armored soldiers moved swiftly across the sands. The crew fired their weapons, but the Vakar were strong and fast. Hold the line, Commander Reyes shouted. Protect the gate. The battle was fierce. Blasts echoed under the golden sky. Sparks flew from broken machines. LT. Jin covered the team. Firing at advancing enemies. Dr. Grant tried to shield Asha. As she worked on the gate controls, the gate's power, the portal shimmered, showing images of distant worlds and stars. It's working, Asha cried, but the gate was unstable. Energy bursts threatened to tear the whole area apart. Too much power, Dr. Grant warned. We need to stabilize it now. Reyes made a decision. We send a signal through. We call for help. Jin nodded and sent the emergency message. Unexpected help. Suddenly, from the sky, another ship appeared. It was the same sleek, ancient vessel that had saved them before. It fired powerful energy beams at the Vakar, scattering them. Who are they? Jin wondered aloud. The ship sent a message. We are the Watchers. We protect the balance. The gate opens wide with the Vakar retreating. The gate stabilized. Asha stepped forward. This gate, it can take us anywhere. Reyes looked at the swirling portal. If we control it, we control our fate. But there was no time to waste. A dangerous choice. Suddenly, the gate began to pulse wildly. It's unstable, Asha warned. We must shut it down before it destroys everything. But shutting the gate would mean losing the chance to escape or to stop the Vakar from using it. Reyes made her choice. We use the gate. We fight. Into the unknown. One by one, the crew stepped. Into the portal. The world around them twisted and blurred. Then they were gone. The swirling light of the gate enveloped Commander Elena Reyes and her crew, pulling them away from the desert sands of Theon. Colors flashed and twisted like ribbons around them. Time seemed to bend. The steady hum of the portal was the only sound as their bodies felt weightless. That one moment they stood on the golden planet. The next, they were somewhere new. Arrival in the unknown. The crew blinked as the light faded. They found themselves standing on the edge of a vast city. But this city was unlike any they had seen before. Skyscrapers made of crystal stretched into a purple sky. Strange flying machines zipped between the towers. The air was warm and smelled of something sweet, like flowers they could not name. Dr. Asha Verma took a step forward, eyes wide. This place, it feels alive. Commander Reyes looked around, alert. Where are we? Jin checked the sensors. Coordinates don't match any known star system. This place is off the charts. Exploring the city, the team moved cautiously into the city. Strange. Symbols glowed on the walls. The streets were empty, but signs of life were everywhere. Flowers blooming on windowsills, soft music playing from hidden speakers, and lights blinking in rhythm. Too quiet, whispered LT Jin. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the streets. Welcome, travelers. The crew spun around. A tall figure stepped out from the shadows. It wore a flowing cloak that shimmered with colors. Its eyes glowed bright blue. I am Elion, guardian of this city, the figure said calmly. You have passed through the gate. Few do. Commander Reyes held up her hand. We come seeking answers about the Vakar. They chase us. Elian nodded slowly. They are known here too. But they cannot reach this place easily. A hidden historian led the crew to a great hall filled with glowing tablets and moving images. This city is called Vanyara, Elian explained. It was built by the ancient Watchers, the protectors of the galaxy. Dr. Grant touched a tablet, and a vision appeared. Stars forming, planets spinning, civilizations growing and falling. The Watchers created gates to keep peace, Elian continued. But the Vakar tried to use the gates to spread war and darkness. Reyes frowned. How? Do we stop them? Elian's eyes turned serious. You must find the core of Vanyara. It controls the gates. If you control the core, you control the gates. The cores challenged the crew prepared to find the core. Elian warned them it would not be easy. The core tests those who approach. It reveals their fears and truths. As they traveled deeper into the city, the crew faced strange illusions. Reyes saw visions of Earth burning. People she loved in danger. Jin saw shadows of failure and regret. Asha confronted memories of loss and loneliness. But they kept moving forward, unexpected. Attack suddenly, alarms blared. The city's defense systems activated. Vakar drones had tracked them through the gate. The crew took cover as laser blasts fired from above. Jin fired back, shouting, "We can't let them reach the core." Reyes ordered, "Split up. We'll meet at the core chamber." Race to the core. Reyes and Asha ran through narrow tunnels. The walls shimmered with energy. They reached a large door carved with symbols. Asha placed her hand on it, and it opened slowly. Inside was a glowing orb. The core of Vanyara. It pulsed with immense power. Reyes stepped forward. "We must take control." But the core spoke in a deep voice. "Only the worthy may command." The test the core showed Reyes a vision. It was not a battle. It was a choice. Will you use this power for war, for control, or for peace? Reyes closed her eyes, she thought. Of her crew, of Earth, of the Vakar's destruction. For peace, she whispered. The core glowed brighter. Energy flowed into her. Victory and loss outside. Jin and Dr. Grant fought off the last Vakar drones. The defense systems shut down. The crew regrouped at the core chamber. With the core's power, Reyes sent a pulse through the gates, closing them. To the Vakar forever, but the effort drained her. She collapsed, breathing hard. A new hope. The city of Vanyara brightened as the gates stabilized. Elian approached gently. "You have done what many could not." Reyes smiled weakly. "What now?" Elian looked to the stars. "The gates will watch over the galaxy. You and your crew will be their new guardians." Final scene. The crew prepared to leave Vanyara. They stepped through the gate, back toward Earth. As final scene. The crew prepared to leave Vanyara. They stepped through the gate, back toward Earth. As Anvil scene. They stepped through the gate, back toward Earth. As Prusi. They traveled. Reyes looked at her team. "We may have won this battle. But the war is not over." Commander Elena Reyes stood quietly on the platform outside the United Nations Space Command Tower in Geneva. The sky was calm. But inside her mind, storm clouds still moved. The gate was safe for now. The Vakar had been stopped from entering through it again. The ancient city of Vanyara had sealed the paths they once used. But that didn't mean the war was over. Far above Earth, the stars still burned. And in the darkness between them, something stirred. Something worse. Daedalus-1, returns. The Daedalus 1 had returned from the gate. Most of the crew was alive, but not unchanged. Dr. Asha Verma now had direct mental contact with the gate system. It whispered things to her, hidden knowledge, warnings, and ancient maps. Lieutenant Jin Park had earned scars during the last battle. He now trusted machines less and people more, and Commander Reyes, she carried the energy of the gate inside her. It changed her. Not physically, but her choices, her thoughts, her strength. They had all grown. A new council back on Earth, a global emergency council was formed. People had seen too much. News had leaked of alien contact, of threats from outside, of mysterious signals from the stars. For the first time in human history, all nations spoke in one voice. Admiral Nathan Vos addressed the council. We are no longer alone, and the galaxy knows our name now. He looked at Reyes. You've walked through a gate few humans ever will. What do we do now? Reyes answered softly. We prepare. And we listen. The final signal that night. A strange pulse hit Earth's satellites. Not a message. Not a sound, a signal. Older than any system. Dr. Asha was the first to recognize it. It's a warning, she said. Jin frowned. From who? She looked up slowly. Not the Vakar. Something older. Something even they feared. She played the audio. It was a repeating phrase in an alien voice. They are awake, and they remember Earth. A lost threat rises from deep in space. Beyond the edge of all maps, a dark shape moved. Massive. Silent. Not Vaikar. Not human. A race. Long believed dead. The remnants. A species erased from galactic records. Destroyed in ancient wars. Forgotten by time. But not gone. And now, their minds had returned. Because Earth had made noise. Earth had sent answers. Earth had activated the gate, and they had heard it. Asha's vision. Asha collapsed suddenly in the control room. Her eyes rolled back. Her mind drifted somewhere far, far away. She saw fire. Cities turned to dust. Whole planets crumbling like sand, and above it all, figure of shadow and flame. Watching. Waiting. She woke up gasping. They're coming, and the Vakar were only scouts. Jin shook his head. You mean we've been fighting the wrong enemy? No, Asha whispered. We were fighting the first enemy. An ancient weapon back at Vanyara. Elion had spoken of something powerful. A weapon not made to kill, but to seal. It was called the Archcore, he had said. Buried. In a forgotten world. One only reachable by the original signal bearers. That meant Earth. That meant them. Commander Reyes called her team. We're going after it. One last mission. The journey begins. Daedalus 1, powered up again. The crew was smaller now. But stronger. Reyes, Asha, Jin, Grant, and 2 new recruits. Launched into space one last time. Their destination. Dirac 7, a planet erased from every known map. But shown in Asha's dreams. Because the signal came from there. And the weapon was waiting. The final battle. As they approached Dirac 7, the skies turned black. Not from space. From ships. Thousands of ships. The remnants had arrived. They were unlike any enemy before. They didn't speak. They didn't scream. They simply erased everything in front of them. Reyes looked at her crew. This is it. Jin nodded. Let's make it count. Reaching the core on the surface, the team fought wave after wave. Drones, fire, shadow beasts. But they reached the temple. Inside was the Archcore, a floating cube of white light. Asha reached out and connected. It's a key, she said. It can lock the galaxy again, but someone must stay behind to turn it. Reyes didn't blink. I'll do it. Jin stepped forward. No, we do it together. A final sacrifice. The Archcore began to glow. Asha uploaded Earth's signature. The gate networks across the galaxy began to close. The remnants screamed, pulled back by force. One by one, their ships vanished. Reyes turned to her team. Go. Someone has to finish this here. Asha hesitated. Reyes smiled. We saved Earth. That's enough. Back on Earth, Daedalus 1 returned, but not with all its crew. Commander Elena Reyes did not return. She stayed with the gate, sealing the last door. Earth held a quiet moment of mourning. Then of pride. Her name was written into history. 1 year later, humanity had changed. The world was united. New defense systems were built not for war, But for protection, a monument stood in Geneva. To Commander Elena Reyes, guardian of the gate. Final scene somewhere in deep space. A single gate still flickered. A shadow passed by. It paused, studied. And then turned away, because someone was still watching, still guarding, still ready.